Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Commander's Signal podcast, an audio extension of the HTTRC Facebook page. In this episode, we will discuss the game against the Giants prior to the bye week and the game following the bye week against the Giants. We'll also discuss some other NFL news that we've noticed around the league, and thank you for tuning in, and let's get to the first game. Week 13 action. The Washington Commanders went in battled against the Giants at MetLife Stadium. This was a game that was very interesting. There was a fair share of drama and events that took place, but a fairly competitive bout from both teams. The notable thing for the Commanders in this game was the fourth quarter drive from Taylor Heineke, ending with a 28-yard pass to Jahan Dotson for a touchdown that tied it. However, overtime proved to have nothing really happen, and the result was a tie. Something both teams weren't really happy with, but you can't really be too disappointed with either. I mean, these two teams really did fight it out. It was just a matter of will from both sides that really made it end with a draw. So following that, the Commanders entered the bye week for week 14, and really, with the tie, they were still in good position in terms of playoff seeding. This because, with that tie, they had a better record in the division than the Giants, thus having the tiebreaker. So the bye week goes on, post a meme or two, just trying to get by because, not having Commanders football to watch is kind of weird after this many consecutive weeks of football. We entered last week's contest against the Giants ahead in playoff seeding and controlling destiny. A win would ensure a playoff spot with a 91% chance of making the playoffs after victory. A loss, however, would be very devastating in the hopes for the Commanders to make the playoffs. And we're going to get right to that. It was a 20-12 win for the Giants, but my goodness, I've never seen worse officiating for a primetime game in my life. Kenneth made a good point Sunday night when he posted on the HTTRC page that normally you can't really blame referees for a loss in a game, but there was two plays that these guys blew. That, you're supposed to be the best officials for football. You can't be making these mistakes. And quite honestly, those two mistakes cost points that would have resulted likely in a tie game, or even better, a Commander's victory. Instead, what you have is a laughable play at the end of the game with clear defensive pass interference, not even called. The likes compared to the guy from the movie Titanic holding the girl there, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's not like that was just the one play. Like I said, there was multiple. The second one here was a flag on Terry McLaurin for illegal formation. Taking a look here, McLaurin looks at the ref prior to the ball being snapped and asks, is he good in terms of, is he lined up fine and legally in terms of a formation? And the ref tells him he's good. And as soon as the ball is snapped, the ref immediately throws a flag for illegal formation. And it's just this kind of stuff. You can't have this in the NFL. This is the level of officiating you would expect in flag football, which, I mean, we get the Pro Bowl as a flag football game now, but that's a whole topic altogether that has nothing to do with this. Quite honestly, these referees, I don't understand how they miss these calls. I mean, I understand in the heat of the moment that you're going to miss a few things, but not in critical moments like on fourth downs or in fourth quarters, quite literally the end game, or pretty much ending game play for a team. You can't be making these mistakes. This is just not okay. And now some other people are going to say, well, what about the drive where Heineke fumbled? Why didn't they score points then? And again, this is a game of football. It's 60 minutes. Anything can happen. But when you have multiple bad calls from officials that literally result in, the ball being turned over or drives ending where there should be opportunities for points, it's still something that needs to be addressed by the league. And quite frankly, yes, this commander squad should have played better. But at the same time, these refs should not have missed these calls. This is just absolutely not okay. And yes, while we cover this team, we're going to cover the good things that happen, and we're also going to discuss the bad, because quite honestly, the bad needs to be acknowledged. And it's only by this being pointed out by people that it seems that these things tend to get addressed. Yes, the organization knows that there's problems, but quite honestly, sometimes it seems like they're just searching for answers in the wind. I think the solution, honestly, is just to run the football more on offense. You have guys like Antonio Gibson that can do the, east-west running, while you have a guy like Brian Robinson, who's a downhill runner that likes to initiate contact. Quite frankly, people on the O-line gotta love a guy like that because they want to work harder to block for him. I think this offense has room to grow. I think it needs to make things more comfortable for Taylor Heineke. I think the solution really is to just run a lot more and explore play action or run pass options or RPO plays where you can. The 49ers defense is one that's not going to be easy to take on in our upcoming matchup. But I feel like people still underestimate this Commanders squad, and I'm hoping that us being more of an underdog for this upcoming matchup against the Niners gives our guys a better chance, to get the job done. These guys seem to like being the ones that are doubted and like to prove the critics wrong, and it really would be nice for all of us in terms of Commanders fans that have stuck through all these tough times and all this crazy stuff that's happened with ownership and put it aside to just, embrace the football product, to see some success here and make the playoffs. I mean, a win here against the Niners would be very big for us. And I honestly hope we can get that done. Now we're going to take a look at some other notable NFL news here. Pro Bowl voting commenced and was finalized here, and it looks like the Commanders have Jonathan Allen is a starter, as is punter Tress Way, who leads the league in punts inside the 20 this year with 32. And on special teams coverage, Jeremy Reeves is assigned as a starter for the Pro Bowl. This is his first Pro Bowl appearance, and he has played 86% of special team snaps this season for the Commanders and has done a great job on coverage. Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver, great scary Terry, has been named as a reserve player for the Pro Bowl. This is his first appearance. He's had 68 receptions, 1,015 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns on the season. Number 17 has absolutely been a beast for Washington. Deron Payne is a first alternate, and Montez Sweat is a second alternate. The Chicago Bears and Jacksonville Jaguars had no players selected for the Pro Bowl. And looking forward again to the 49ers game that we have on Saturday, the Commanders will play at 4:05 p.m. Eastern at Levi Stadium. Right now, the Commanders hold the 7th playoff seed in the NFC. However, the Lions and Seahawks are close behind. Our Commanders need to keep winning to continue to have a shot at the postseason. Otherwise, this season could get out of hand and go disappointing rather quickly. Hoping they can step up here. Definitely hope the offense can make some key plays and not have to worry about penalties or missed calls. And I'd like to see the defense continue to play as they have. The front 7 has been dominant. Hope that they can get through the 49ers O-line and give fits to Brock Purdy and company there. We'll have coverage of the game, as always, on the HTTRC Facebook page, where we post all scoring plays and like to engage with the fans of the Commanders, present and Redskins past. We respect both the past of the Redskins and the current Commanders, while also being, critical where need be of the product and also highlighting positives and success of the team. For this episode, my name's Alex. Kenny is going through some things there, not feeling the best, so wishing him well and hope to have him on an upcoming episode again. And for all of us here from the HTTRC team and the Commander Signal podcast, We wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you again soon.